Welcome back to some more Carthage League of Legends. Game 1 of Nationals for NECC, starting for the Firebirds here. And we're going to kick off right into draft, immediately with the Victor and Lux bands. What do you think of that so far?
Honestly, understandable. The Victor laning phase is kind of rough into what we normally play. The Lux ban is probably going to be on our support POC here. As we see it, we got a Xayah ban, typically for our ADC, which typically gets banned out every game.
Yep. It's the classic. That is the classic Fyro Xayah. Only gotten a couple times, but he has dominated on it every single time. Usually a lot of just comfort picks out of these first bans, as usual. As we see the Shyvana ban coming out. So the Firebirds have learned a very, very strong pick. Got to respect that at all times. And now the Gwen ban, probably... banning against Pagarian, playing a lot of that jungle Gwen. It did get nerfed in, I believe, 12.5, but it still is strong in the right hands. What are you thinking?
Right now, I think that we'll probably come out with probably a Nocturne pick in this case, into the Swain, looking for something sustainable against that lifesteal. I believe this is going to be a Swain top. Shyvana ban, definitely difficult to play against. I'd like the Nami pick and just in general. That R, I think, is just really powerful compared to what we normally play.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it looks like we're going to be forced onto the Nocturne here.
Yep, Fiddlesticks been what mainly Pagarian has been playing throughout the season. They're looking to take that away, try to make sure that he doesn't get his hands on that powerful pick. I expect them to go jungle here. Just go with the counter pick. You know what their top side is looking like. And also Fiddlesticks, not fantastic into Nocturne, although it is very hard to really, truly shut down the Nocturne. Grabbing what seems to be a Dr. Mundo here into the Swain, also going to be a really good pick. Going to be a very hard laning phase for the Swain to shut down the Mundo. Just because that CC immunity... or the CC shield on the Mundo passive, as we all know, Mundo goes where he pleases. And now we'll see third pick. Could be a support pick, just continue these counter picks, but it really could be anything. Nami also a very good blind pick, very hard to play into. Just not a ton of really strong counter picks. Really lane dominant champion right. Nami is.
Especially with that burst damage, especially bringing typically Electrocute. And that the build adaptability between Mandate and Moonstone is really key part of like how we win the bot lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Morgana now picked up for Queens, really solid into Nami, just looking to do about the same thing, really wanting to win lane and get a lead bot lane just purely through the laning phase. So I think that's a very good counter pick. It seems that Queens has had a very good plan to come in and shut down the Firebirds. Now with the Caitlyn pick coming out, trying to stop that lane kingdom that Fyro has been known to put up in the bot lane.
Yeah, the Caitlyn ban definitely would have been something that would have been an option to counteract the Morgana hard CC just by outranging them and poking them in the early phases. Now we have the Talon ban. I believe that is the Talon mid ban. So it looks like we're probably going to have, the Lucian ban.
Yeah, just very strong with that Nami. Yeah. Not something that Fyro is known to play, but he could break it out in case that Lucian Nami is something that wants to be played. Lucian Nami is so strong because Nami's E allows her to proc the rune Electrocute, which greatly enhances her burst damage in the early game and makes it incredibly difficult for any ADC support duo to play the game. Until mid-game almost. But looking like Jinx, just a very safe ADC, known to scale, basically a ticking time bomb in any sort of comp. Just a good ban here by the Firebirds, in my opinion. Try to stop that scaling and make sure that if you beat them in the early game, then they can't. Just play the game normally and outscale you.
I definitely agree, especially with that Jinx. Once she gets Kraken Slayer, a couple speed boosts from any takedowns, and it's pretty difficult to kind of counterplay that in a team fight.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna have the Yorick pick here in the where would that be?
Probably top. I'm thinking that if they were flexing the Swain, knowing that it was something that they were going to be picking up, Firebirds expecting that it was going to be top lane, and then looking to just put that Yorick into that Mundo, which I feel like is a pretty favorable matchup.
Interesting pick because looking at their OP.GG, the only York player that they had was typically plays as their ADC. So I'm curious to see what this is going to look like.
Yeah.
We got the Galio pick to counteract this Swain and bring in a little more engage in the team fight, I guess.
I completely agree with that. Galio just really, really good in general, really solid. Able to terrorize the side lanes once you get out of laning phase. It's going to be really hard to step up into anything. Vayne Nami looking like the bot lane duo. It's going to be very good. It's just all the attack speed bonus that Nami gives combined with the Vayne true damage in laning phase is hard to deal with, even if Vayne is not known to be good in the early game.
Kind of surprised that Firo didn't bring out the Aphelios into this kind of
That's
team.
true. That's true.
We have a lot of peel, and with someone like Vayne that just kind of goes for, obviously only attacking one person at a time, I just feel like the Aphelios would be a better pick. So we're gonna see a Jhin from Queens here. Always gonna be trouble after that IE.
Yeah, absolutely. Jhin just really solid in lane, really able to lock down a number of different champions and holding a great amount of utility with that ultimate ability, Curtain Call. I think that Jhin Morgana into the Vayne Nami bot lane is pretty favorable. It's going to be pretty difficult to play around the Jhin route in combination with Morgana route. Fiddlesticks potentially coming bot lane. I think that the way that Queens is drafted around Firebirds game plan here has been really effective. How do you feel?
I agree. It's definitely smart to kind of target our jungle and force them onto that Nocturne because I'm sure they've practiced this exact idea so that they've learned how to play around a Nocturne, picking up the Fiddlesticks and banning the Gwen.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming this York is going to probably rush Hullbreaker, and then they're probably going to look to split up the map a lot.
Yep. One good thing, at least, about Firebirds comp into Queens is that it's going to be really, really hard to actually split push against a team comp that has Nocturne and Galio, both of those global alts, able to rotate incredibly fast onto one lane. Who do you think generally won the draft here? Just looking at how this played out.
Honestly, I think if we can keep utilizing the Galio R and the Nocturne R on cooldown and we can make favorable plays in the bot lane, I honestly think that we'll be able to get enough ahead if we can execute that properly. But looking at the new Swain rework on top of a York in general, on top of Jhin scaling, I honestly think this draft might be in slightly more favor to Queens.
Yeah, it's completely fair. I think that Firebirds is a very cohesive draft. I think that they play very well together. The champions like to do a lot of the same things. But I think that Swain pick leading off, being flexed likely to the mid lane, is just so so smart from Queens, throwing off the Firebirds, because I'm sure that they thought that Swain was top lane just based on the information that Firebirds knew.
Definitely.
But even with that, I feel like these are some fairly even drafts, and as do pretty much all games go, it's going to come down to execution and how well they play to their win conditions.
I'm interested to see how this Mundo plays out in the mid to late game, as it's not something we typically see from Firebirds here.
Yeah, true. Something that definitely it needs to be responded to, but at the same time, it doesn't really feel like Queens has any one champion that will be able to deal with the Mundo effectively, minus maybe that Yorick with that percentage increased damage on his Maiden, his ultimate ability. Past that, it's going to be very difficult in team fights, especially since this Yorick is probably going to be looking to be playing away from the team and just be collecting those towers in the top and bottom lanes.
And once we get to that stage of the game where it becomes more of a group play, it's definitely going to be difficult to poke out that Mundo, even with having a Jhin Morgana.
Yeah.
The healing and the CC shield is just going to be probably too much to be able to deal with.
Yeah. Okay, it's not Fiddlesticks top. But as now we are picking up all of our champions, getting prepared for the game, we will head into a short commercial break, and we will meet you back as the game begins. See you then.
Shall I turn in my badge and rifle as well?
it could happen.
Can't fall asleep when you're counting stars. Get it together. Your mind can't sleep when you let it serve. Now you wanna see me fall. From a quarter mile, I can see you at the goal. Think about it, ring will tell you what I saw. When you break it up, you'll see who had it all. You had it all.
really great.
Yeah. All right, coming into this game now, feeling excited for Nationals to be beginning. Been waiting for this all week, and feeling interested in how this game is going to play out. A lot of interesting picks here. Definitely not what we were expecting Queens to do. But how do you feel that this early game is going to play out?
Early game, I feel like the Nami poke is going to be really important for setting up later in the phase. But honestly, I'm anticipating just a lot of farming until some ultimates come up and see what we can do.
Yep, just looking at jungle matchups, Nocturne versus Fiddlesticks. Nocturne's going to need to get some things done in that early to mid game because Fiddlesticks is going to outscale you. He's going to just be more useful than you in a lot of those team fights. So you're going to have to find a way to mitigate his just farming and scaling. Obviously, Fyro always playing those scaling monsters in the bot lane, maybe trying to help him out a little bit. Maybe trying to go mid as you have a lane that has double ignite. It's going to be very high variance, and there's going to be a lot of action in that mid lane as that both are probably going to be looking to roam. So yeah, very, very interesting. How do you feel about that top lane matchup, being a top laner yourself?
Mundo into Yorick. I don't have much experience on Mundo, but honestly, I think that the Mundo will be able to outpoke the Yorick pre 6. But once that maiden comes up, I think might have to be a little more safe, obviously.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think it'll be an even matchup. But once the itemization comes in, assuming that Yorick will go Hullbreaker, I guess it'll be a matter of getting that tower damage off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Getting those demolish procs off as well.
Yep, both junglers. Well, actually, no. Looks like Bigarian's gonna be pathing from top to bot, trying to get that bot lane ahead, get that Vayne rolling in towards that very strong late game. While the other jungler, the Fiddlesticks, is looking to path bot to top and influence that top lane matchup a little bit. Get that Yorick a little bit of extra gold, potentially get him an advantage so he can start knocking on the tower. Already seeing some trades coming out. Nothing too big. No huge invades happening. Very common against the Firebirds. But now we see some roll coming forward. Nothing quite happening. And this is probably going to be what the Firebirds are looking for. Just letting Fyro scale, waiting until level 6, and trying to get those extra advantages.
I see a root coming from Morgana.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about now, that a lot of CC by the Queen's bot lane, able to lock down an opponent for a very long period of time and potentially pick up a kill, but they actually lost that trade. Fyro able to put a lot of damage onto the Jhin, maybe allow the Nocturne to come in later and clean that up.
Seeing this poke coming in from Mundo.
Page coming
gonna
through.
be a pretty even trade, it looks like.
Not much happening though. I mean, this is kind of what you expect out of a Mundo lane. Just kind of sitting around, poking with that cleaver, trying to allow for an all-in later in the game. Fiddlesticks though is close, as well as Nocturne. We'll see what happens soon.
Another root landed. Double root.
Yeah, double root does come through, but still not enough damage to really say
a good trade in the mid lane.
Yeah, true.
Swain.
Yeah, it's very good having that Galio be winning a lot of trades. You kind of need him to go even in lane and not allow that Swain to get too far ahead, or else it could be very difficult coming to mid game where Swain gets that ultimate ability and he'll start to be able to do massive amounts of damage.
I see Nocturne looking here potentially.
But they do have that ward, so it's going to be difficult for them to get anything here. And looks like both junglers are just going to say, all right, we see both of the bot and top lane got their push. They put their wards down. We can't gank. Just going to reset and see what we can do from here. Very quiet early game, though, so far. This is...
Do you see the Fiddlesticks looking top, though? Although we do have vision on him.
Already backing away. Really good by Pawsey Guy to push that wave in early to get that ward. Maybe knowing that the Fiddlesticks was starting in the bot lane just to give himself that extra advantage. Especially with bot lane getting that push, the Jhin Morgana seeming to win lane, kind of what we were expecting, just much stronger in the early game than the Vayne and Nami, despite Nami being such a monster. How do you expect the mid lane will play out here? Oh, wait, bubble coming through? Nothing much happening, though.
Small trade in the mid lane. Honestly, with Galio's early tankiness, these trades have been pretty even so far. With the double ignite, I feel like the matchup would go in Galio's favor with that that airborne taunt combo with the Q damage early is pretty huge. With the ignite, I mean, if we can get any follow-up damage from the jungler or a roam, I think
absolutely.
it would easily go in Galio's favor here.
Yeah. But we can't see the CS numbers. We can assume that they are up in farm just based on the 7.9 thousand gold lead to 7.6. So it seems like Firebirds have been winning their lanes up to this point. But now maybe an early dragon play for Queens, trying to sneak that Cloudric away and start stacking the dragons. They do not have the push in the bot lane, so it could be a little difficult. Although they could be playing with the timing of Fyro and Pac's resets. And it looks like they may be doing that, just trying to finish off that dragon. A lot of damage also coming through in the top lane. Seeming to be pretty hard for Yorick so far, even though he does have level 6. He might need that Fiddlesticks to come and break through the massive HP pool and defenses of Dr. Mundo as Queens slays the first dragon of the game. And we'll see if they continue doing that.
Let's see. What's that ping from? Is that Nadia?
Pac coming, yeah.
Going to establish some important vision here.
Yep, making sure that that Vayne is safe through the early laning phase is very important. Try not to set it too far back, as the Jhin will do a lot more damage in the early game.
We're going to be looking at a reset from Mundo here soon, potentially.
It looks like Yorick definitely forcing him to stay, though. Pretty smart. No... Fiddlesticks getting pinged on vision, though, very important. As you see that ward that Pac put up earlier, spotting out the Fiddlesticks, nothing happening in the bot lane. I would assume that... Oh, hold on. Yorick now walking up pretty confidently. Got a lot of damage on him. I'm not sure if he wins this. The ult's coming through from Mundo and Yorick. Nothing happening. Oh, I don't think that the Yorick actually was able to ult. I don't think he had enough mana.
No, I think he was out of mana by the point that he launched his minions in cage.
Yeah, very weird trade there by the top laner, trying to get some damage on the Mundo. Maybe thought he had a kill.
TP here?
Potentially. I mean, that's what it's looking like.
You see the TP from Yorick?
Yeah, just very, well, not very big misplay, but definitely a little bit of a misplay there by Yorick, thinking that he could kill Mundo, but now Mundo going to be getting a very nice reset. He's going to be able to pick up all those minions. They'll be pushing back
Nocturne
into him.
is 6. Could potentially work for an engage somewhere.
Yeah, looking mid now. Going in. Swain ult comes through. Galio also comes down. Forces out the flash. Nothing happening. But forcing out the Swain and the Swain ult and flash is going to be very, very important.
And ignite as well.
Oh, true. Also the ignite. A lot more kill pressure now for Happy Samoyed as we see those two pieces of CC coming down onto Pac. But lots of damage from the return trade by Fyro. Ult's coming through. Curtains have opened. They're trying to pick up the kill on Fyro. Pac isn't able to block for him as he flashes away. Getting that flash in the Vayne is going to be really, really important, as we talked about. Flashes just make you more safe. And getting your ADC, who's already frail, isn't going to do a lot of damage in that early game. Getting rid of that flash is going to be really important, as now the Fiddlesticks should be looking bot side to try and punish that. As you see Paving down, I believe. But yeah, very good by both Pigarian and by the bot lane of Queens to force out those flashes early in the game like this.
So as a jungler, would you say you prioritize finishing up your camps or going to help the laners in those kind of situations? Like say he was bot side, would you prefer that you just go to that and try and force that cleanup and pick up a kill?
It really depends on who I'm playing. If I'm playing Fiddlesticks, like Canadian Blitz is here, I would say that just cleaning up those camps, unless you have level 6, in which case Crowstorm, that ultimate, is going to be very, very effective in a counter gank. But otherwise, you're typically going to be prioritizing your camps. Even if the rotation is possible, you kind of have to make a judgment call on whether it's going to be worth it or not. Because if you do waste that time coming to the bot lane and nothing ends up happening, then it can be kind of punishing, because that'll slow down your CS lead.
The Swain coming up from mid, gonna be looking to...
Mundo just popping ult, already used the E as he just walks around. Ooh, really, really well played. Good sidestep, just able to flash right away. Well played there by Pawsy Guy, avoiding that roam. As Galio now looking top lane potentially. This could be pretty smart, just following it. Ooh, big ult now by the Nocturne. Really well played to get both flashes, as we talked about earlier. Ooh, might be able to pick up the kill with the condemn into the wall, and he does find it. First blood by Fyro, but now Fiddlesticks coming by. Really, really good bubble by Hawk, picking up the double kill for Fyro. Fantastic play by the Firebirds, and able to stifle that counter gank from the Fiddlesticks immediately with that Nami bubble. Really well played, really massive to get those 2 kills on the Vayne.
Definitely, those kind of reactions are what we like to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something that we've seen fairly often from the Firebirds throughout the season. This is what they do. They will pick up the kill, and they have been able to outplay those types of ganks. As now Yorick, with the extra damage from Maiden, may be able to pick up a kill. Flash is able to grab it. Really, really massive solo kill from 333T onto Pawsey Guy. This should put top lane firmly ahead.
This is a huge wave to crash.
Yeah, unless missing a ton of minions, Pawsey Guy is as well. Although Pagarian the Nocturne might shade top, try and pick up that wave. No, it doesn't look like he will. So gonna take a ton of plays, probably take all of them with that final Q. Just really well played by 333T. Teleport coming through, gonna pick up the rest of that wave, but the damage has already been done in the top lane. That top is gonna fall very soon.
See the Fiddlesticks clearing bot vision here, establishing vision around drag. So they're probably going to look to rush that.
Absolutely, just continue stacking those dragons. It's going to be really important. Although it could be a little difficult as you see Happy Samoy looking towards the dragon, as well as Pac and Fyro being so strong now. We'll see how this plays out. As now you see Pagarian. This could be a 4v4 at the dragon. Who do you think has the advantage here?
With Galio ult up, as well as Vayne and Nami ult up, I think this is in Firebirds' favor.
Absolutely. I also love the positioning of the Firebirds here, as he might be able to go to double taunt. Only gets 1. It looks like Canadian Blood just focusing the dragon as they pick up 2 kills. Unfortunately, Canadian Blood does grab the dragon, but now 4 kills onto the Vayne. This is not what Queens was hoping for at all. They do pick up the dragon, but losing all of that gold to the Vayne like that is going to be massive, accelerating her towards the late game. What do you think the correct play was there? Do you feel like the Fiddlesticks should have just continued on the dragon, or perhaps changed his priority towards the team?
I do believe the Fiddlesticks ult was up, and I definitely think they should have backed up and looked for a counterplay either towards the top sides, towards Pagarian and the Galio, or either bot side and try to shut down that Vayne as soon as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a very tough judgment call in situations like that, because it's all happening very fast. The game state is changing, the play is even changing as it keeps going. But now I love this play by the Firebirds, just going right to the Rift Herald, picking it up, knowing you have that mid prio, and now might be able to look on the Swain. You do have Fiddlesticks ult. There it comes through. The flash is back up for the Swain, and ult is as well, so it does take away any sort of kill that could come. But also, once again, very important to get both of those spells used from Swain. Ooh, taunt. Nothing more coming through,
just
though.
Just a small trade in the top lane.
Yeah. Oh no, Pawsey Guy finding himself in another unfortunate situation. 333T just walking him down. Misses the slow though, and does get away. Really well played here by Yorick so far.
Fiddlesticks potentially looking to our bot lane here.
Very good situation for a dive. Although it looks like Pocket Fire sniffed it out. They want blood. They want this Fiddlesticks. They do not just want to let him take those Krugs. Although he got the majority of them, he may have to flash over the wall because this is just so much damage now coming out, and does pick up the kill before the ult comes through. So now the Fiddlesticks had to use the ult and didn't even get away. Massive, massive waste for Queens. Now we have a bigger roam now coming from the bot lane towards mid. Fyro may be looking to pick up another kill. His ult is still active. We'll see if he's actually able to grab anything, as these three do have very heavy lockdown. But man, just really clean play here by the Firebirds thus far.
Definitely a really good choice there. Typically we would see just like a play safe kind of mindset, but
yeah,
Firebirds really took the initiative there and ran down the Fiddlesticks, forcing his ult to go on cooldown now, and still picking up the kill.
Yep, very, very big. So even though this Yorick does have this very large lead in the top lane, it doesn't matter. You still have that 2,000 gold lead, or the Firebirds rather, have that 2,000 gold lead, and they're going to look to transition that into a very strong late game. How do you think that both teams will be looking to play out those fights once we get out of laning phase here?
It's definitely going to be I feel like Queens would be best off here, trying to split up the map and like prioritizing making sure that York can just keep doing his own thing, getting those towers.
Absolutely.
But in those team fights, it's just gonna be.
Ooh, immediately getting the run on Fire flashes away. Might get the stun as well, though. Condemned away. Almost a very big play by Queens. Really smart to just engage immediately like that and pull the trigger.
Definitely. Definitely good attempt. The Nami R definitely was. The Vayne E as well as the Nami R coming in there definitely very close. But in those later games when we come out of laning phase, I think those fights are definitely going to be where Firebirds is going to have to pull the trigger. We're going to have to hit those Nami Rs, engage those Nocturne Rs, and just peel for the Vayne damage. And it should be clean as long as Fiddlesticks or York doesn't get onto the Vayne.
Absolutely. It's looking like York's going to pick up the first tower of the game. That is what he does. York takes towers. He will sit in the side lane. He will take towers. This is unsurprising, but it is very, very important that he got ahead and getting that solo kill. We'll see how Pawsey Guy is able to play from behind like this. Looking now, Dragon coming up in 38 seconds. This should be something that the Firebirds are looking at. They do not want to give up Soul Point because it will suddenly become very difficult if Queens does happen into a Dragon Soul, even with the lead that Firebirds has built up so far. So they should definitely start to look at a setup around that objective, even though their bot lane is resetting. Could be a mistake later.
We're going to see the Mundo reset. We got the Hextech portals coming up. Definitely my favorite dragon.
Oh yeah.
The mobility is just makes the game so much faster paced, and it's just so much more playable.
Yep, those Hex Gates definitely do change the way you're able to move around the map, rotate so much faster, and punish those out of position players. This isn't. Who do you think that this benefits the most?
The dragon, the soul.
Yeah, and even the map.
Honestly, I think we have pretty decent mobility with Nocturne and Galio and Nami. I think this benefits us most because we definitely utilize the rotations more.
Yep. Completely agree, especially with that York pushing. It's going to make it a lot harder for him to do anything, as now you see an ultimate combination of Nocturne, Galio, and Nami all coming through. So much damage, triple ult by Happy Samoya, but he isn't finding anything else. It's looking like Fyro's gonna be trying to clean up this fight, as now more damage coming out onto the top laner. Gets the solo kill. Pawsey Guy really big to get that, but Happy Samoya picking up the double kill now. Fyro still pumping out that damage on the Vayne. He's gonna get another, it looks like. They were able to clean up that fight from behind. Wow. Really, really well played there by the Firebirds, able to blunder a little bit on that engage, but still find a fight win. That DPS from Vayne is just too big for Queens to overcome.
Definitely. That Fiddlestick stopwatch, it obviously saved him from the Nami R there, but the Galio taunt cooldowns and the airborns. A good attempt on Jin to go past that and try and execute the Vayne, but the damage just wasn't there.
Yeah, absolutely. Also very big for Pawsey Guy to pick up that kill.
Oh, definitely. Definitely makes things a little more even in the top lane, seeing that Mundo does have the level advantage currently.
How do you think that changes the matchup?
Honestly, I think if it's played the same way as laning phases, just making sure you can get that poke out with your Mundo axe, and just making sure you can avoid the cage and getting maidened by York. York doing York things. It should be a pretty even matchup.
Ooh, a little bit more 1v1 and going down the top lane. This is what we like to see. Ult coming out from only the Mundo. It doesn't look like Maiden is up, but that could actually change the fight. He could look to turn here. And nothing more is happening though, as Triple 3T just knowing that Mundo ult is so strong, walking away, waiting for a better chance to find the kill on the top laner. One thing that we didn't talk. Oh, hold on now. Play might be brewing mid lane, although it does seem that the Firebirds have sniffed it out with those warning pings. Okay, nothing more happening. But one thing we didn't talk about was the Firebirds got the dragon. Every time I start talking about the dragon, something else is happening on the map. It looks like Pawsy guys found himself in a little bit of a rough position. Triple 3T getting the flash forward. Also the Q trying to dig the grave of the Mundo here. Another slow coming through. He might be able to find a kill. Rotations now coming out from Galio and Fiddlesticks. Nothing more happening, but ult now coming through onto Fyro. Really, really nice Nami wave. And Fiddlesticks, ult not coming through. I apologize. Nocturne ult coming through. Maybe able to take down two. That fear, that flash. Unfortunately, turning on to the Morgana, but picks up three. Really well played by the jungler Figarian. I thought that the play was over, but then they just kept extending it. More action happening on the map. Happy Sawaya gets a double taunt. Massive healing for Fiddlesticks, but it will not matter. They pick up one, trading 1-for-1. More will likely be able to be found, though, just because of how much of a level lead Pawsy guy has over Canadian Blit. The slow comes through, ult coming through, also trying to go over the wall, and it looks like he may escape. He will escape through that Hex Gate. Very good 1-for-1, but a triple kill going on to the Nocturne. This is really, really good for Nocturne, needing to get those kills in the early game, needing to accelerate that gold lead over Fiddlesticks. I'm loving how the Firebirds are playing this so far.
Definitely putting the gold on the right people here, especially going with that Nocturne Bruiser build. The damage is going to be really huge upon those R's landing later.
Yeah, but, absolutely.
Unfortunately, we can't see who has healing reduction.
Yep, can't see item, can't see CS, but can't see gold leads, yeah.
Healing reduction is definitely going to be a big part of these team fights later between the Fiddlesticks, Yorick, Swain. We don't... I mean, obviously with the gold lead we have now, it might not be a priority, but like we saw that Fiddlesticks heal back to full HP, and that may become a problem in later team fights.
Yep, Fiddlesticks scaling is really one of their only ways out here so far, just with how ahead this Vayne is, just with how ahead the Firebirds are in general, as you've got a 5,000 gold lead at minute 21 against a team that really feels like they want to get some stuff done early game with that Swain and that Morgana and the Jhin. It was really unfortunate that Fire was able to pick up all of those kills, as now the Jhin is just going to feel really bad to play against this extremely fed bot lane.
Definitely.
How do you feel the teams have been playing the map so far? How do you feel about the macro?
I've definitely loved seeing the Galio roams top, even if a play wasn't able to be made, just having that pressure going top, or like the Nocturne showing bot, and just getting clearing that vision, creating pressure, just making it easier to control your wave.
Absolutely.
You're gonna see a fight go on in the top lane.
Okay, Maiden summon top, although Nocturne is now going in, immediately pick up the kill onto the Morgana. This is really huge. Goes forward, and Fyro's also able to pick him up pretty much instantly. The fight is over before it was able to begin. No amount of extra help will save you from that Vayne true damage, my friend. Picks up double. No trade at all. It looks like the Firebirds are just in the driver's seat. Fantastic by Pawsy guy to not get killed there, and really well played, playing around that objective, playing around the dragon. I am loving how the Firebirds are playing the map. They just know when they have that numbers advantage, they know that they have a lead, and they are pushing it all over Queens.
Having these Nocturne R engages are definitely a big part of these team fights. That nearsightedness, as well as that instant burst damage from the Nocturne, especially after picking up all these kills on the Nocturne.
Yep.
This definitely makes it so much easier for Nami to follow up with CC, as well as then get Vayne in there to get that burst damage out there and just execute the team fight.
Absolutely. Now that Queens have found themselves in this position, how do you think they'll look to come back?
Honestly, through stalling the game so that I think it would be optimal if Swain went more of a tankier build here. I saw that he has Leandries, going with more of those AP health mage items would definitely be beneficial.
Ooh, they don't know what they've walked into though. Carthage setting a beautiful trap. Nocturne all coming through onto the Jhin, instantly blowing him up. Swain having to use that ult once more, having to stopwatch as well, but that might not even save him. They merely look for a dive. Gets the kill, but Flea blowing up Fyro, getting a big shutdown. That's really important for Queens. Even though they traded poorly there, they were able to get that 700, or most likely 700 gold shutdown from Fyro. Back to what you were saying, how they'll come back into the game.
Back to the comeback. Definitely setting up, basically creating pressure to set up Fyro into that Fiddlesticks R is probably going to be the key.
unfortunate position for Fiddlesticks to find himself in. Just a really good effort for Ost.
Just being able to split that pressure and just allow York to get those objective bounties and create that solo kill pressure. We do see a rotation from the Galio Nocturne.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about earlier. Pagarian and Happy Samoyed looking to play together and try to shut down that York in the side lane. But they don't have vision, so nothing happening.
Definitely getting gold onto that Jhin is definitely going to be huge. Being able to get to that IE power spike as we talked about earlier. Just getting the Jhin to stay alive long enough to get that 4th shot and be able to be in a position to use that R in those team fights is just something that we haven't seen much just because of how quickly we're executing the Nocturne R's into the Nami CC.
Yep. And if they do look to force the Baron here, I think it would be extremely smart. I love this play from the Firebirds. Knowing that Fiddlesticks is bot side and just quickly doing the Baron, able to get that buff towards all the lanes. And as you see, Fyro just pumping out damage onto it. I don't think that they'll be able to respond at all with the speed at which they're completing it. And now they might be able to turn, actually, as they do have numbers advantage with York splitting bot side. Fyro does find himself in a little bit backward position, able to pump out 3/4 damage onto the, oh my goodness, Fiddlesticks. Almost 3 shots. Ooh, wow. Very unfortunate there as they're just getting cleaned up. Nothing that they'll be able to do, although they are able to grab that tower in the bot lane. York is doing his job, even if the rest of the team is letting him down a little bit. I love that Baron play.
Definitely. That was very smart.
How do you think that the Firebirds will look to push that advantage now?
Honestly, I think just pushing mid. I think definitely we do see that top wave crashing into our tower.
Yeah.
Definitely need someone to be able to shove out those side lanes besides.
Ult coming through. They might be able to kill the York. This might be an ended game if they're able to do so. A lot of healing now coming out, but it's not going to be anything. They might be able to end the game with how much damage they have. Wow, look at that Vayne damage. Basically 4 shots to Fiddlesticks. He does not have a chance to play. Nami bubble coming out. Fyro picks up 2 more. He has been carrying. They might be able to end the game right now. With the Baron buff and how much damage Fyro has, it looks like they're just going to do so.
No way.
Wow. So much damage coming out from Fyro. So much damage coming out from the Firebirds in general. And just fantastic played. Well played game 1 going to the Firebirds. That was fantastic. I loved how the Firebirds played that macro there. They played to their strengths, making sure to get several kills onto the Vayne. And, I mean, Fyro showing, as usual, why you have to worry about his ADCs getting banned every game.
Definitely. Amazing to see him perform despite getting banned. Love the flexibility picks, especially that Mundo. Definitely had a good laning phase there. York was almost a problem, but luckily we were able to execute those team fights correctly and just get to that fountain as soon as possible, and getting that solo kill on York definitely sealed out the game.
Oh yeah, just fantastic play here by the Firebirds in general. Now looking to see how Queens will change up their strategy for game 2. That was not a great showing, but I'm very excited to see what kind of changes they make in draft, and we will catch back up with you for the next draft.
See your future on the horizon? So do we.
It's really just the greatest college experience I could have asked for.
What really drew me in was having an adventure.
I think something really unique about Carthage is that it constantly pushes you outside of your comfort zone.
At Carthage College, we will push you to dive deep, to channel your curiosity, and excel in your chosen field.
It's been like an individual journey through collaborative effort. And so overall, this has been my college experience, but so many people that I've met have been supportive along the way, and they're all looking out for you. So that's really why it feels like a family.
As you ignite your true potential and start asking the hard questions, you'll find the answers are just the beginning. That's the moment your purpose comes into view.
We are really able to get great one-on-one action with our professors. So you can't hide in your classroom. You're always actively participating.
You'll get recommended for things that you might not have ever been interested in before, and you end up realizing that that might be your passion.
Everyone here is just so nice, so welcoming. It's really easy to make friends here at Carthage. The biggest change was going from student to young business professional.
I love Carthage.
It's definitely the people.
Living on the lake is amazing.
I feel very prepared for my future.
Ended up surpassing my expectations.
Some things you just need to see for yourself. Come take a closer look at Carthage College.
Good evening, Firebirds. Welcome back to some League of Legends National Championships. Firebirds versus Queen's University?
I don't know.
Queen's University. We're going to assume that.
Sure.
I'm hopping in right now. Apologies for not being here first map, but we are back. How you doing? How was game one?
It was really good. Really solid victory.
Yeah, oh yeah,
like 25 minutes.
I caught the end of it. Yeah, it was. I was doing some paperwork and stuff, and then I look up and I see it's 11-3. I go, oh, okay, I'm not too worried. I literally looked up. I'm like, oh, there you go.
Came in at a good time for sure. This is okay. So different bans from the first game. I think that they opted to ban Shyvana and something else. But Nami and Nocturne are both champions that Firebirds have played during the first game, and they're just looking to get rid of that. They do not want to play against it again. They both played very well during the last game.
I saw a triple kill from Nocturne, so I know that Nocturne is definitely it's a salt pick, which I do all the time.
Yeah, can't blame them for banning it. It was just very good into what they wanted to do. Now Shyvana banned from the Firebirds.
I think Victor Garen Shyvana is really good. I think Garen is going to be very solid too. Now it looks like Queens is going to be picking a Lux, and I am very biased because I'm a Lux fan. I love Lux. I think that is a very solid pick from Queens. A lot of comps go well with Lux, in my opinion. She's got a very good execution, basically being able to do so much damage that the moment she's able to stun somebody, it's just game over for them.
And now coming through is the Lulu and Fiddlesticks, just with the support counter pick and looking to pick up your jungler right away. Last game, Queens tried to take away the Fiddlesticks pick, wasn't able to execute very well on it. But now Pigarian returning to his Fiddlesticks, which he's played extensively throughout the season. This Lux can be played both mid and support, so we don't really know.
I was just about to ask that. I'm like, I think, honestly, I mean, coming from a Lux main, honestly, I played the same Lux pretty much, minus my first item. So I think Lux is pretty good on mid lane or support. We'll see how that goes. Lulu support. Coming from a support main, I like Lulu, but Lulu is, you have to have a really good ADC. You know, I've had a lot of success with Lulu, but it's because my ADC is able to team up, and we've always seen some amazing ADC support combos from the Firebirds, so I'm not too worried about that.
No, Lulu is just very good at peeling the support, peeling the ADC, peeling Firewall, making sure he stays alive throughout these fights. It looks like they might be expecting the Swain to go mid this game with the Galio pick instead of counterpicking top lane, which they might hold. I mean, Happy Smoyers has been playing Galio very well throughout the season. He's played it more on the tail end here. It's just something he's picked up throughout the season, but he's played it very well in the last game as well, so I'm excited to see how he uses that. I'm also excited to see what roles the champions from Queens are actually going. This Swain could go top lane. This Lux could go mid lane. This Swain could even go support for all we know.
I have seen the Swain support every once in a while, so that might be really good. Now the Firebirds are going to be banning Yorick and Jinx, whereas Queens did a Vayne and probably a Caitlyn. I think that's going to... Caitlyn's such a solid ADC on the bot lane, so...
Firewall played Vayne during the last game and did a lot of damage. Let's just say
as a good... I mean, Fyro is a phenomenal player, so definitely, you know, you have a phenomenal hero and a phenomenal player, it's just not gonna end well for the other team.
Yeah, no, it's just very good bans, and this is what we've seen all season: is teams having to ban out Fyro throughout with 3 picks pretty consistently, and he's still able to come through and carry these games. I really like the Aphelios pick, not just with Lulu, but just as a blind pick in general. It's really hard to play into a good Aphelios. He's able to be strong at essentially every point in the game, as long as you're good enough.
And Queen's picking a Talon. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a Talon mid for sure. So that definitely clears things up. Now we know this Talon is going mid lane. We know this Swain is going top lane. We know this Lux is going to be supporting. I'm excited to see how they... No way.
So I know. I was about to say, I'm like, that is going to completely mess up your... Okay. Queen's picking Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser, do you think it's going to be a top or a jungle mortar?
It's going to be a top mortar because you have the Rek'Sai jungle.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's a Swain ADC. I'm guessing it's a Talon mid, which is going to be very annoying to play into. But at the same time, I do like Aphelios and Lulu into pretty much any variation of bot lane that Queens could come up with. It looks like Queens are looking to throw the Firebirds off as they did last game, picking the Fiddlesticks so that Pigarian couldn't grab it. Just trying to throw them off and use all of these flex picks in order to get in an advantageous position for the game. But honestly, I like the Carthage Firebirds draft more.
I was about to say, I think we have that Galio and Dr. Mundo being really good tanks. That Lulu using that polymorph is going to be key, as well as all of that slow. And looking at Queens, we have Mordekaiser and is Rek'Sai's. I mean, Rek'Sai's a little bit of a tank.
The jungler. He's more of an assassin. You typically build assassin.
Yeah.
But I just think that Lulu just blanket counters Rek'Sai and Talon, who both really want to get on the Aphelios onto Fyro. And I think it's going to be really hard for them to play. I'm honestly surprised that Queens is picked this way. Seeing the Lulu and still picking the Rek'Sai and still picking the Talon, I think is a really big mistake. Just because it's going to be so hard to actually pick up a kill when you're diving onto the other team like that. The Mordekaiser as a blind pick is decent. You typically don't see it that way. But Mundo, just good, just solid.
Oh, yeah. You can't... Mundo is... When I tried to learn top lane, emphasis on tried, Mundo was the very first person. My friends told me, just go play Mundo.
Yeah,
it was Mundo and Nasus, and Mundo is, I think Mundo is very solid, especially with that anti-CC. You know, I think because Lux is going to be so powerful with that CC, Mordekaiser's ult, Mundo can't stop that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You can't. Yeah, you can't ult Mundo when he has his shield up, or else it won't happen.
Yeah, so
he'll just go.
That's going to be a fantastic counter to Mordekaiser, especially if Mordekaiser is. Well, we do know Mordekaiser is going to be top lane, right?
I think that the Mordekaiser is going to be winning against Mundo.
Really?
Yes, because he actually, when he's in his ultimate, he actually steals stats from the opponent.
Okay.
So all of those tank stats that Mundo has, he's going to take a portion of them. So Mordekaiser into a lot of different tanks is really good, actually.
That makes sense.
But you're going to have to play around that spell shield really well. And Mundo's not just going to let you walk up to him and ult him when he doesn't have a spell shield. So I expect Pawsey Guy to play this lane very smart. I expect bot lane to win, honestly. I think that Lulu Aphelios is going to be really, really good into Lux Swain. I expect mid lane to be very difficult for the Talon, despite the fact that they both are able to roam. And Galio is typically more of a AP counter pick. Like, you pick Galio into mages, usually, just because he gets a little bit of a magic shield, actually. But into a lot of melee matchups, such as Talon and a lot of assassins, it's pretty difficult as well, just because he has that taunt, that get off me tool. Like, okay, you're going to try to get up in my face, I'm going to press W, and you're going to stand there for a second, I'm going to walk away. So I think the Firebirds have a massive, massive advantage in this draft.
I agree. I think I'm confident, but ultimately the comps, I mean, they mean something, but as long as the team can play it confidently.
No, absolutely.
You know, you could have the best comp in the world, but if you aren't able to hold, you know, if you're not able to perform it properly, you could lose that easily.
Yeah.
But I think the Firebirds do know how to play this comp.
Absolutely.
So I'm not too concerned about that. But this happens in every League of Legends match.
Yeah.
Every moment matters, especially the early game. So I hope no mistakes happen.
Yeah, absolutely. But now we'll just be waiting until game time. I think we'll take a little short commercial break, wait for the stream delay to pick up, and join you back then.
We're back for some League of Legends. Game 2 of the night. Firebirds B winning the first match really impressively too. Well, not impressively. They won really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like we don't expect that. They did a really good job, map.
We're following.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
So map 2, I'm confident. I like this build for the Firebirds. But like I said before or during the draft, the build could be great, but if they don't perform it well, it's not going to be well for them. So
even though we did like the team composition of the Firebirds more, there's a lot that can go wrong. This Rek'Sai could just take over the game. Rek'Sai is a very strong early game champion, really good at ganking. So there's a chance that he's just able to, or she, I apologize, that the Rek'Sai is able to take over the game. But on the other hand, if the Rek'Sai isn't able to get much done, if the Talon just kind of is having to sit in the mid lane, then maybe not much gets done, and they end up losing this one. So
now I was about to ask, we do have the Swain Lux bot lane.
Yep.
I was about to say, who do you think is going support? But we can see based on the items, the Lux will be going support. What are your thoughts? Do you think Swain would be better support?
I think that Swain in general is not super good in the bot lane right now, just because of how he was reworked. He actually isn't able to pull people who are already CC'd. He can only pull based off of his W, or his E rather. So he isn't able to follow up as well. So that makes him a better solo laner. But I would say that Lux is probably the better support, just because she doesn't take as much gold to be effective.
That makes sense.
Another interesting thing, both junglers starting bot side, so we will see how they interact around that top scuttle crab and how they're able to just play out the lane. And now we're already seeing it's going to be really difficult for the bot lane to play things, just because of Lulu's shielding kind of mitigates the poke that Swain and Lux are trying to give, as well as that range advantage that Aphelios has. So I'm very excited to see how they're able to create an advantage in the bot lane.
I agree.
Top lane also is going to be very interesting, just as we kind of were deliberating about who won that lane. I think I've decided that, okay, hold on. A little bit of a big trade there. Nothing quite coming of it. But I think we've decided that Mordekaiser does win this lane, just because of ultimate matchup and damage.
Now you say that though, but Pawsey guy.
True.
Pawsey guy, come on. Like, look at this. Pawsey guy already just doing so much damage to 333T. I mean, Pawsey guy, I think, could definitely pull this off.
He's had a lot of... Ooh,
he evens it out, I should say, you know.
A lot of damage out coming out of the Fyro. That was very big to get caught up in that. Burning the Ignite is... Oh, actually, no burning of Ignite, but a tick damage, at least, coming through onto Fyro. That's a really big, important trade to have. Even though Aphelios does have a ton of healing through that red gun, Severum, he's able to sustain through a lot of that early damage. All right, now since the early game is usually boring, Aphelios is the most complicated champion in the game. Would you like me to give you a rundown?
Yes, please, because I don't know Aphelios.
Okay, wait, hold on. Already actually coming through on top lane. Really well played by Pagarian to try and spot out the Rek'Sai and get an early kill, although we see more big trades coming through top. All right, nothing happening. Still, really smart there by both teams, able to just stop anything from happening, really.
I will say this, Queens having 3 people to respond to that was really well timed.
Yeah.
Having that Aphelios to go up top definitely applied more pressure to the Firebirds, and I think I wouldn't say it scared them, but it definitely was all right, we're not exactly in favor of winning this.
Yeah, absolutely. Just smart plays, having knowledge of who's winning, general stuff like that. But back to what I was saying, I feel it's extremely complicated. I'll try to give you the quick rundown and hope that nothing else happens when I do it. Aphelios, 5 guns. He's got the teal gun, which is long range. He's got that red gun, Severum, which is shorter range, but he heals more. That blue gun is called Infernum. It does AoE. As you can see, he'll shoot, and it'll be like a little flamethrower effect. The purple gun is called Gravitum. He can shoot, and it'll slow them when it hits, and then his Q will actually root. And then you have the white gun, which is Crescendum, which is going to do a lot of damage. So there are different combinations of guns that will do more damage and less damage. Also, his one ability, Q, will do different things based on which gun he has right now. So right now, if he shoots somebody and Q's like that, it'll root him. So you see, it'll do different things, but it's very strong. Does a lot of damage. It'll flash out now. The Talon roam, able to pick up the kill onto Fire. Oh, wait, hold on. He might get away here. They decided to just not finish him. Okay, no, but Talon is able to get the first blood. Really big buy. they're able to pick up a kill on the roam, and the Firebirds just lost track of them there.
I agree. I mean, it is First Blood. First Blood's not bad, especially when you're looking at the gold right now. The Firebirds are leading by about 200 gold.
Yep.
Their creep score is phenomenal right now. The Firebirds are on point with that. Top lane, it is pretty tied, but jungle, Fiddlesticks is leading by a decent margin.
Yeah.
And mid lane, pretty tied, but then bot lane is
where the real advantage
that's where the real advantage is. So I'm confident with that. Definitely increasing our lead. Because gold is probably my favorite way to determine, how well teams are.
Yeah, absolutely. Doing. Yep, and there's a lot. Oh, okay. Now Mordekaiser does have 6. This is where the kill pressure is going to come through. Pawsey guy is playing it very smart. Just not. Okay, now he's in business though. The ultimate could happen. We don't know what's going to happen in the bot lane. They could look for a dragon play, but that's where the advantage comes. Is once you knock out that spell shield off, you'll be able to find a kill onto Pawsey guy, and he's playing really smart around it. He knows what his champion is and isn't able to do. Happy Samoyed Pigarian also shading towards the mid lane, maybe trying to get a sneaky little pickup onto the Talon. But I think this has just been very clean play through both teams. It's been obviously very good to get that kill out of the Talon, who needs to have a lead in the early game. It's going to make Happy Samoyed's life a little bit more difficult, but at the same time, I mean, Firebirds are fine with just scaling, and picking up this dragon is going to be a big factor in that.
Yeah, I agree. And the unfortunate part though is on top lane that Mordekaiser having that heal aspect.
Oh, they want to contest this. Flash already coming out from Pigarian. This is a bad fight for the Firebirds. Fyro getting pulled in. Galio is really big to peel away, and now they're looking to turn this. Actually going to get the kill onto the Lux as the 4 versus 4 is going in favor, because it looks like their jungler is just prioritizing the dragon over actually helping their team, forcing the jungler out. It looks like the Carthage Firebirds are able to slay that dragon. Massive misplay there by the Queen's University, not just going for the fight. They had numbers advantage. They had a really good engage, but they're just forced to walk away.
Oh yeah, it was scary at the beginning, but then those misplays happened by Queens, and it just did not work out for them. And that honestly is make or break in this game.
Yes.
This game is all about playing without mistakes, and when the other team makes a mistake, it's just
ult coming through by the Mordekaiser. He's gonna look for a kill. Pawsey guy popping the ult in response, but there it is. Mordekaiser just so hard to play against, putting him in the death realm and picking up a kill. Massive solo kill there for 333T.
Yeah, but the Firebirds, once again, still leading almost 500 gold.
Yep.
Like, despite being down a single kill, Firebirds have a decent gap.
Yes,
a decent lead. So hopefully we can continue.
Firebirds will need to be careful here, as it looks like Magus might look for a dive. A ton of burst damage from the Talon. But Pigarian might be looking also. So this could be a very interesting fight coming through. Magus is going to be looking. Fyro, they have a ton of damage with the oh my goodness. Immediately blown up though. I don't even have time to finish explaining what the Aphelios can do, as the Talon is able to basically one-shot him. Fyro, I apologize, Pigarian is able to actually pick up a kill in return though. And it ends up being Firebirds still with a nearly 1,000 gold advantage, just because of that massive CS lead.
Oh yes, and like it's I think it's all about that jungle and bot lane. Because if you look at the top lane, the gap is about 9. You look at mid lane, the gap is 3. But bot lane, the gap is quite a bit, almost 20. 23, and then in jungle, it's about 30. 40 now.
Yep.
So like 32. 32.
Yeah. You're right.
Quick math. But
oh no. Okay, so the Rex side, you see the one on the top, it's out of order.
Oh.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. That changes everything. I'm sorry.
They're still leading though.
I'm looking at the numbers, not the picture.
Yeah, no problem to worry about that there. But bot lane now, you do see that Fyro has red and white guns. That is the highest damage combo. He's going to be able to basically win any sort of fight that Queens decides to take. So this is the period of time in which you have to be really careful if you're that Swain Lux lane, because they'll be able to 100% win with the red and white combination. So just watching to see what guns Aphelios has is going to definitely change how they try to play the fight.
I agree. Now this top lane though, the topic of discussion for this game.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm scared.
Mordekaiser's gonna have the death realm again very soon. He might be able to put away Pawsey guy for the second time. We do not really know. Okay, no ult coming through, but another trade is coming through in the bot lane. Swain does pop the ult. We'll see if I was actually able to return this, as Moonlight Vigil's coming out soon. Oh, but gank now coming through. Pigarian is just gonna die. He immediately put Pigarian into the death realm, and That is just tragedy there for the Firebirds. They did not keep track of when the Mordekaiser had the ult. And that's the 3rd kill now for 333T.
Firebirds
He's
are
going
no
to look
longer
to be the
leading.
carry. No,
Firebirds
yeah,
are
they're
no
not.
longer leading in that gold. In fact, they are now behind by about 100. Still time for them to close up this gap, but they need to do something.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult now, especially with that Mordekaiser being so fed. It's going to be practically impossible for Posguy to play lane. We're going to be looking towards bot lane now to try and continue that advantage. You pick the Galio not to win the lane, but to help other lanes succeed. So you really need to start seeing this Galio moving up to top and bot lane and try to create some sort of advantage. I don't think he wants this fight as he's pulled over the wall. Oh no, another kill going to be given to the Mordekaiser. Just not respecting that pull. Probably didn't know you could get pulled over the wall there. Just really, really unfortunate. So much gold onto this Mordekaiser. Gonna have to play with a ton of respect now if you're the Firebirds. We'll see now what happens to the bot lane. As it looks like Queens is kind of posturing up, gets the root, might get more. Heck, or Moonlight Vigil now coming through, gets a lot of damage onto the Swain. Swain having to flash away. Maybe another slow from Pac could finish it off. Does find it. Oh no, but Ray walks up, almost gets killed, has to burn another flash in the bot lane. The Firebirds need to start looking bot lane now. They are very vulnerable. They need to start finding advantages to give to Fyro. He will be the main damage source in the late game. You need to give him the gold to help him succeed.
Yes.
Thank you.
I agree.
Stellar reaction there. We'll see. What do you think is the Firebirds going to try to do to try and mitigate this lead that the Mordekaiser's created?
I think, honestly, it's all about grouping up. I mean, we saw that when Pagarian was flanking up there, or ganking, we saw that Mordekaiser did not have as easy of a time as normal.
Go on.
But ultimately, that Mordekaiser was able to take over and do a bunch of damage.
Yes.
So, honestly, I'm not quite sure. Once that Mordekaiser has that shield, it's just bad.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I'm not quite sure how, outside of just making sure that they coordinate and focus.
Yep, and now he also has a 2-level advantage, so Posguy is really going to need to put a lot of respect on this Mordekaiser's name. Rift being dropped mid. Not much going to be happening there. Not even going to take a tower. Oh no, he walks right into Pagarian though as he ults in the complete opposite direction. Very, very unfortunate. Not going to be able to find anything here, but Fyro now going in still has a lot of damage. Even though he's behind, he might be able to pick up kill on the community. But really good snipe there from Fyro. Able to grab more gold. This is what we were talking about. This is what he needs. Swain pulling the Galio towards maybe not a great decision, but it ends up working out anyway. And this is the question I was trying to lead you to. How do you beat a fed top laner? You stack dragons. You get the Dragon Soul, because that is the farthest point away from the top lane. It's going to be really hard for Mordekaiser to impact how many dragons the Firebird's going to get unless he's going to completely surrender top lane and just walk away from it.
I agree. That makes sense, yeah.
All now coming out from Swain. He might be able to find a kill on the Fyro. Grabs the root. That's going to be really big. Will they be able to follow up with any more CC? No. Fyro is just sustaining through any sort of damage it'll do. Sidesteps that Lux binding. Nothing else really happening. Root coming through. Pac is in a really bad situation, but if Pagarian is now rotating down, the ult will not expire from Swain because of that new rework. He is just going to keep getting that health. They're trying to focus down the Lux, but they're not going to be quite able to find him. Okay, big root coming through now. Gets a kill. Try to give this now to Fyro. You need to give this to Fyro. He needs more gold. Great, fantastic play. 3 kills now into Fyro, and it looks like Queens wants more. I would try to walk away from this fight. They had lost the fight. They just need to give up the gold. But no, now they had to kind of give up some of that mid lane farm, even though Mordekaiser is so far ahead. This is exactly what we were talking about. This is exactly what the Firebirds needed, just to get some kills onto Fyro, and now he's in a much better state to carry the game.
Now, Posguy is closing up that gap. You see, it
needs to be careful. And a little bit of a misplay there, but he might be able to be fine.
He's in the
sitting under tower. Yep, and he did pop his ult, so it looks like he'll be able to stay safe with the ultimate ability. Yeah, the play just ended pretty much right as the ultimate comes through from Mundo. Got a little bit excited. The 333T got a little bit excited. Flash forward, try to get the ult, but ends up nothing happening. Just trades ults, and Posguy still has flash, so we'll see if he'll be able to use that advantage. Uh-oh, Talon getting a little sneaky here. He does have his Prowler's Claw. Uh-oh, looks like Posguy's caught out a little bit. Immediately gets that flash. Healing. All come through, and that's going to be a kill onto Mages, playing this game so well. They've just lost track of the Talon so many times this game, and Alt now coming through onto Fyro, but it's not going to matter. He already picks up the first kill. Moonlight Vigil coming through. Oh, big damage! Immediately picks up another. Fyro is insane. Unbelievable play.
Swain just popped his ult, able to get away a little bit though, but
he had to. He would have died.
Yeah.
He gets extra health on that ult. He needed to pop the ult, or else he was dead. And he's dead. Boom. Fyro, three kills, turning that gank around. Fantastic play out of Fyro. And now the game is completely flipped on its head. How are you going to deal with Fyro? He has 6 kills. He has the first tower. He has a 30-something CS lead up on the Swain. This is not good for Queens.
It really is not. And like, this comes down to, if the Firebirds are winning in every single area except top lane,
yep,
it's not going to be, like, it's not good for Queens.
Yeah.
They might be demolishing top lane, but ultimately, if they're not able to do anything else, you get those dragons, you get the gold, you get everything. And you almost get this passive income for Posy Guy, who's trying his best. He's only died 3 times in the span of, 16 minutes, which compared to a Mordekaiser, it's not a bad.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen some phenomenal plays by Posy guys, so this is, it happens.
Yeah.
And ultimately, Mordo is just such a difficult champ to play up against. It's not, there's no shame in this.
Yep. One thing I do want to talk about though is Rek'Sai. Not been able to do anything. This is one thing that we talked about. You need to get kills. You need to be making things happen if you're going to be picking Rek'Sai. And she's just not been able to do that. 0-2-2. You got your Mythic, but you're also 60 CS behind on the Fiddlesticks.
Yeah. Quite a bit. Quite a bit of CS.
So just really almost a failure in that pick. Obviously, anything can happen. This is League of Legends, but we'll see if the Rek'Sai is going to be able to turn this around.
Yeah, and I think the Rek'Sai could definitely take this over, but you need to hard focus farming at this point.
Yeah.
Hard focus, getting up that XP, getting up that gold. And I mean, the Queen's University is down by about 2,600 gold.
Yep. And a ton of experience too. If you look at Fyro, he has a level advantage. If you look at Pagarian and Canadian, but a 2-level advantage there as well. It's going to be really difficult to find anything here as Happy Samoy. Maybe looking to grab that root. A ton of damage and instantly blown up. That's how fast fights can end when you have red and white on the Aphelios. He's able to Gale Force away, nothing more happening. Ooh, Prowler's claw forward, gets the knockup. Galio coming down, they could look for more, but they've got a numbers disadvantage. But the Fiddlesticks ult coming through a little bit early, but might be able to grab the Swain, nothing happening. A little bit of early stopwatch, this might have just doomed Pagarian. Unfortunately, does manage, ooh, massive damage from the Mordekaiser. As I talked about before, you need to hold that stopwatch longer. When you're in stasis, you cannot move. Even though you're not taking damage, it's a trade-off. And now they're just going to put that Rift Herald mid lane and look to open up the map a little bit. That's mid lane tower is very, very important because that means that you can't put vision on those side bushes there. So if you get rid of the mid tower, then you lose a lot of vision control throughout the map. It becomes a lot harder to play in your own jungle. It looks like they think that they have lethal here. Ult's coming through onto Happy Samoya, but it's not really doing any damage. That shielding from Pac is massive. Ignite ticking down. Big cleaver miss, but Ignite is able to pick it up. Really, really well played to get that return kill onto the Talon.
It's concerning, I think.
No, this could be very good. You have a ton of chakras. Moonlight Vigil coming through. Big root, big slow. Kill picked up onto the Lux. But Rek'Sai now needs to retreat. They have to surrender this dragon for the 3rd time this game, marching closer and closer. We won't talk about that ultimate back in, but wow. This is what we've seen so many times.
It's funny because we're talking about, Posy Guy top lane just not doing too well. But then Posy Guy goes to any other lane and just demolishes.
Yep.
So it really is that Mordekaiser that Amundo is just not going to do well against.
Yep.
But every other lane, Posy Guy is just going to thrive.
Yeah. It's a ton of pressure now onto the Mordekaiser, able to try to bring his advantage and use it to get other lanes ahead. Really good Everfrost there by Happy Samoyed. But this has just been a masterclass in taking the game over on the ADC role. And then we talk about Pac as well. 12 assists. Pac has been involved in every single kill that Carthage has had so far.
Yeah.
So
no, and that's all about being a support. It's not about getting those kills, and especially with Lulu.
Yeah.
It's not about getting those kills. It's about making sure that everybody can get kills.
Yep.
And the moment that somebody else tries to enter a fight, you just slow them, you polymorph them.
Pagarian's definitely caught out here. He's running for his life, is able to get away, but now Mordekaiser kind of caught in a little bit of a rock and a hard place. Both sides of the Firebirds are there to collapse on him, but nothing happening as his team comes and picks him up, helps him out a little bit. As also Swain getting that solo farm in the bot lane will help him get back into the game.
Yes. I try to think of like what
That's
do I
okay.
count?
That's
What do I count?
okay. That's okay.
Normally other games I just can't shut up, but this game I just don't know what to say.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It's really...
That's why I'm glad you're doing play-by-play and I'm doing commentary.
Yeah, no problem.
The turntables have turned.
Yes, absolutely. As now Happy Samoyed has potentially found a fight he does not win.
Oh. I don't think. No, I don't think so. I was not saying like there's no way.
Yep. Now we talked about how large Fyro is right now, how much gold he has, but the people who have gold on the side of Queens are exactly who you want to deal with them. You have the assassin who's going to be able to go in and one-shot him. You have the Mordekaiser who's going to be able to send him to the death realm immediately at the start of the fight and take him away from the Firebirds and maybe able to find a victory. But they haven't been able to find that yet because, quite frankly, there has not been a single fight where 333T and Fyro have been facing each other. They have just avoided that Mordekaiser, which honestly is smart. It's the best play. So we'll see how they continue to play around this Mordekaiser. We'll see how Mordekaiser tries to find those picks going on into the game. And we'll see if the Firebirds are able to continue to push this lead forward.
I agree. Now the Firebirds are one dragon away.
Yes, which is also massive.
Yes. So
yeah.
I'm confident that they need to kind of focus that. Because once they get that, it's just going to make them even more powerful.
Yep. Honestly, it will be incredibly difficult for Queens to find a way back into the game if they give up this Dragon Soul, because Ocean Soul is one of the souls that feels the worst to play into. You will be regenerating so much health with Ocean Soul. Even these all-ins from the Talon, you're going to be living on just because you're healing so much health when he's hitting you. Hawk polymorphing the Lux, but still nothing happening. Oh no, Fyro caught out, but Galiold's coming through, saving him. They might be able to grab Canadian Blit. He is caught out. Canadian Blit misunderstands the situation a little bit as Galio catches him, and Fyro is able to pop him with that sniper rifle. So much damage.
So much emphasis on pop.
Yeah, I really tried to get home how much damage that one shot could do.
Now, looking at the Mundo Mordekaiser once again, the CS is pretty even.
Yeah,
5 CS deficit.
Oh, that's a dead Swain. Happy Samoyed pick up the kill. Go on.
Do you think Mundo has more health at this point though? Because it looks like he might.
He does at this point, but I think the Mordekaiser is still gonna have a little bit of an edge. Has that 5-kill lead. That's about.
Well, yeah, against the Mordekaiser,
gold.
yeah. But when you're talking about like a team fight, you know, if it's going to be Firebirds versus Queens, I think the Firebirds might be able to do that. Having that extra, having Galio as a tank as well, and the Pagarian has quite a bit of health as well. Just all around for the Firebirds compared to Queens, where they're pretty squishy, as we could say.
As we talked about before, the early game is where Queens needed to really win in order to have a good game plan into the Firebirds, and they haven't done that. They're down 3,600 gold. And all of the gold, once again, is on Fyro. Yes. And they're going to need to walk into them and deal with it. But they can't because Firebirds smartly picked Lulu. So it's going to be really tough for them to find anything. I'm struggling to think of how they're going to play out fights right now. They need to just find a way to steal this. They can't really 4v4. They have to find a way to steal. As now you see the TP coming through from the Mundo. They want this big fight. They're turning away from the Dragon. Fiddlesticks ult coming through, gonna immediately blow up the right side. Oh, they just have invulnerability. Oh, Mordekaiser is killed, I believe, in his own ult. Oh no, Mordekaiser ult doesn't even pop. But they're just cleaning up this fight. Carthage has too much damage. Fyro is fighting against the Swain on the other side. But look at that. Look at all of that damage. Even though the Talon does get the double kill, it's just Firebirds dominating the fight.
The Dr. Mundo versus the Lux, there's nothing you can do with that.
Yeah,
I've been in that scenario so many times, and you just kind of have to accept your fate. Like, there's nothing you can do.
And now, unfortunately, Canadian Blood is also going to get picked off by Fyro. The speed up by Lulu is going to cause him to die. Wow. Very, very unfortunate play. as I was talking about as the play was developing, you can't fight the Firebirds right now. You just need to try and steal the dragon, but now they've put themselves so far behind. They need a miracle play to come back into this one.
I agree. And like I said earlier, you know, you might be winning top lane, but you can't, if you can't win these team fights, that's ultimately where it goes. If you're losing in jungle, if you're losing in bot and mid, it's not going to end well for you. And Pawsey Guy just being able to annihilate outside of top, against the Mordekaiser, Pawsey Guy struggles. But against anybody else,
oh my goodness, so much damage from Pyro. Galio coming through, dissuading any further fights, but they want more. They have the speed to chase them down. Galio looking for an Everfrost slow, will pick up that Swain. Swain made it flash away and pop the ult. Just dominance at every turn from the Firebirds.
The Firebirds are very good at dodging that Lux ult too. I don't think I've noticed probably 3 times now where that Lux just uses that ult right on the entire Firebirds, and everybody just walks away. And I'm expecting it to do a ton of damage, but then there's no damage done, and I'm like, there you go, perfect.
No, they're playing very well around all of the threats that Queens could be putting forward here, and it is tough. Once again, they need to find a miracle play. Pawsey Guy just has too much health. He's too bulky. They cannot deal damage to him right now. Even in the last fight, though, Mordekaiser wasn't able to ult. So if Mordekaiser's able to ult, maybe that's what they need. Maybe they just need to find the Mordekaiser the wrong person. Now a big taunt by the 3 people as Happy Samoyed. Bulgarian jumping over the wall with that Fiddlesticks Crowstorm, able to find big damage out of Triple T and Rune. They are not able to kill Happy Samoyed. Triple 3T has to flash away. Pawsey Guy sitting under turret. Nobody died, but that was a clear victory for the Firebirds. It is just going to be tough. Now, granted, they were at a very big disadvantage walking into that choke point against a team comp like this that has the Crowstar and the Fiddlesticks ult, is able to zone away Queens. But it's just, how do you fight this? The taunt coming through again, and look, he's dead. He's dead. It is, you need to play around the Talon. You need to find a way to get the Talon onto one of the squishy targets. There you go. That was an advantageous fight. The Firebirds overstayed, and now they're looking like they're going to pick up 2 kills. A lot of damage coming out of Bulgarian. The healing will not be enough. Pawsey Guy also looking like he's going to fall here. That's what they needed. They needed to find an overstaying some overstaying players, but even then they could potentially win this 2v3. Mordekaiser does not have ult. He's gonna have a lot of damage coming down onto him. Fyro could be able to 2v3. Moonlight Vigil coming through, immediately blows up the Lux, flashes forward, picks up the Swain. He wants more. He wants the turret. He's pushing. He's putting so much pressure on Queens. What can they do?
I know I'm gonna make a joke, and it's going to pain a lot of people, especially my producer. And I'm sure it's been said many times before, but Fyro is on fire. I don't think there's a single fight that we've seen there that's just like, it is.
Oh my goodness, Talon, another kill. He's just racking it up. More kills, 16 kills now onto Fyro. They are sitting in bot lane, playing against all of Queens and saying, you need to come kill us. And nobody's shown to be able to do that. They might just look to end the game right now. They have too much damage. The towers are getting chunked. Turning now on to the Nexus. What will Queens be able to do? This is their last stand. They have numbers disadvantage. Crowstar not coming out. That was Swain, I apologize, but still 2 kills, 2 more kills coming out onto the Aphelios, onto Fyro, and they are going to look to close out this game. Impressive 2-0 win against
It's not over yet. It's not over. There we go. Okay.
Impressive.
I was gonna say it's not over yet.
Impressive 2-0 win by the Firebirds against Queens. Just so well played, showing their dominance that allowed them to go undefeated during the regular season. I have loved how they have played these games so far.
I'm gonna start banning Aphelios now. Firebirds were phenomenal all around the board. Pawsey Guy, despite being in such a difficult situation in that top lane, was able to be like, you know what? No, I'm not gonna let that happen. It just dominated. It was beautiful to see by Pawsey Guy, by the Firebirds, and that is exactly what I was hoping to see in the national championships so far. We are fired up. We do have tons of games later tonight, though. We are not done for the night.
Even close.
Firebirds A is going to be playing next at 7:30 p.m. versus Ottawa University. 2 Canadian teams in one day. That is more than Carthage usually plays, because we're international. Don't mean to brag or
not
anything.
a big deal. No.
That is amazing to see. Oh, it's in Kansas. Just
Kansas.
kidding.
Okay.
I'm getting
lied to
word
me.
that this is in that
You lied
Ottawa
to
University is in Kansas, which is funny because Queen's University is in Ontario.
Yeah.
So
It's okay.
we don't know. We don't know what schools are what.
Don't worry.
But we will be back for that 7:30
Yes.
game. Don't go anywhere. Well, you can go take
there's some time,
eat some dinner,
really.
do some work, use the bathroom. We got some time, but we'll be back for that game and it'll be so much fun.
Yes.
Catch you later.